Hey friends, it's Trevor, and on this video we are going to be talking about the IRF Flipping Challenge. Now, to have an IRF certification, if you don't know much about it, the International Rafting Federation has a program called Guide Training and Education. This program is designed to help guides and help boaters get some training on kind of a basic standard. And different countries have different standards, but the IRF is trying to make sure that river guides have this same sort of training. Now, to get certified, you actually have to perform a test, and it's like an applicable knowledge test. This test involves, it's a 2-minute test, and it involves flipping the boat. Now, the boat's supposed to be right side up. You gotta climb up on the boat, flip the boat over, then swim over to the boat, climb up on it again, count your people that you may have been missing, even if they're imaginary, and then flip the boat back over, and then finally remount it a third time. So that's 2 flips and 3 mounts that you got to do in 2 minutes. So when the water's cold, you get a little bit cold shock or something, or your hands get cold, it can get really tough to remount that boat. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do that 2-minute challenge and see if I can do it within 2 minutes. And the timer starts right when I grab the boat. Now I'm going to rig up my boat just the way I would for any normal paddling trip, and then we're gonna go out there and see if it'll work. So there's a couple tips and tricks. Zach did this. If you didn't catch his video, I will put a link to it, but Zach did this with an oar boat, which I think is personally a little bit more sketchy and a little bit more difficult because you got those oars flying around. So I'm gonna do it with the paddle boat, and I feel like I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I have a small playboat, but we're gonna see how I do with the playboat and how that goes. Right off the bat, diving in here, I already made a couple mistakes, and if you see them, they're pretty obvious. The first one is that I swam pretty deep in that one, and the second time that I fall, that I do fall pretty deep here as well. Now, it is pretty shallow, and what we'll see when we switch to the overhead, we'll see kind of how that happens. But if you notice, I also put my paddle on one side of the boat and then fell on the same side of the paddle, so that was kind of to avoid anything flying and hitting me. And if you see my big mistake, it is right there in the background. But I get up and I did it, so that was pretty good. All right, going to the overhead view, swim up to the boat, mount the boat pretty quickly, and I hadn't been paddling all day, so it's not a big deal. I move my paddle out of the way. The first thing I'm having here is I'm having an issue with my throw bag because I haven't trained with this one to get the new throw bag going, so this is pretty brand new throw bag, but place my paddle so it's not going to hit me when I fly, and I did fall a little deep. I didn't really need to fall that deep. Go around to the side of the boat, and I like to go from the bow and the stern. I think most people do. It's just a lot easier to climb up and get in that way. Count my missing people, and then looking for my flip line, and that'll happen. You get kind of turned around which side is which. At this point, my paddle's floating away from me, and once I remount the boat, I have no way of controlling the boat, so that's something that you really need to bear in mind. I don't know if it's part of the IRF certification, but something to think about. Okay, that was pretty good. I made it in under 2 minutes, I think, but I did lose my paddle, so now I gotta do it again. This time I gotta have my paddle when it all gets flipped back over. So let's give it a shot. I made another mistake in the first attempt, and I don't know if y'all caught that, but my last flip, I finally remembered about this really important point, is to just look behind you and see where you're falling. Now, I knew where I was generally in this pool, but you're not always going to be in a big pool, and you're not always going to know what's around you, so I don't look behind me right here, which you really need to do. I fell a little bit shallower, which is good because I knew the water's pretty shallow, but I get to the end of the boat, remount the raft, and I have a small strap that's hanging out the back of the raft or out of the floor so that I can remount it pretty easily. So here I am counting all my people, grab the flip line, and now this time I'm going to actually look behind me, and I'm looking to see where I'm falling. So boom, I fall in, Now I go around and I need to get my paddle because, again, I don't know if this is part of the IRF certification, but it's really important that you have a way of controlling your boat once you're back in it so that you can get over to any swimmers that are out there if they are, of course, helpless. So here I am remounting the raft, put my paddle in, make sure it's in a safe, secure spot, and grab some of the webbing, and it gets me back in the boat. That was a super fun test. I haven't had to do something like that in a while, and actually having a test to work on my skills was super helpful. So here's my challenge to all of you. Try the IRF 2-minute challenge and see if you can mount a boat, flip it over, remount it, flip it again, and then remount it a third time, all in 2 minutes. And remember, the test starts as soon as you touch the raft. So that's it can be kind of tough, especially if you're paddling in the winter or you're out here. But if you guys tag and post your videos of this, that would be super awesome. I would love to see them, and maybe we could get a prize together. We'll see. Whoever can do it the fastest, maybe that'll be the thing. Maybe we'll have a mystery box. I don't even have the mystery box yet, but we'll see. So if you guys have questions, as always, drop them in the comments. I'll put some links to the IRF guide, training, education stuff, and in the future, really excited about this, potentially Mark Hurst is going to come over here to the States, and I will be able to go up to White Salmon and meet with him and go paddle. Or later on, if I have to, go to Europe and try and see if we can get this going where we can do an IRF instructor course and see what the whole process is to do guide training and education, and maybe some advanced swiftwater. So that would be super cool. Stay tuned for that. If that happens, I will put that in the video and some links as well. So also go check out Zach's video. I will put a link in there as well, and so that you can see that and see how he did and what he did, because I missed a couple things, and I'll throw some narration in there as you've heard about that so that you can understand what I did wrong and what I should have done, especially the first time. So we'll see you guys next time on Rafting Magazine. Good luck.